Hey guys, Dave here, and welcome back to another episode of Press C for Carnage. Joining me as always is Colin.
Yellow.
And Jordan.
Hey, why'd you introduce him first?
Because you always go first. Joining us today is Bobby Ray, Cryptic, and Mercy. Hello guys.
Hey yo.
Hello.
Cryptic here.
Sorry. Thanks, man. Cyber, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to state that my wife Megan is here as well, but she's muted right now, taking care of our children, our lovely, lovely, lovely children.
What a stem. On God.
All right. So, first topic of the day, everybody. We're going to talk about this article from PC Gamer titled "Blizzard acknowledges no one's playing support in Overwatch 2, and that's a problem." Yeah.
I hate Overwatch 2.
Yeah, no crap. No
Fuck
crap,
Overwatch
it's a
2.
problem.
No,
All
yeah,
right.
Overwatch 2.
You hate Overwatch 2. Okay, before we get into that,
Okay.
we need to talk about why support is having issues. I'm just going to start off because I'm the one that started the article. As somebody who mains support in every game I play, I'm a healer in MMOs. I'm a healer in first-person shooters if possible. I revive as much as I possibly can in every game. Overwatch 2 is so toxic towards healers for whatever reason. I'm not sure why or how it started or why is it continuing to happen, but tanks blame healers, DPS blame healers. Like, it's not the healer's fault most of the time that you're dying. It's your fault because you're the one running into a freaking group of enemies like a doofus and expecting me to run in after you and then I'm dying with you. Like, I hate it so much. But I just wanted to know your guys' opinion on it. Cryptic, you wanted to continue? You said you hate Overwatch.
Right.
So
Okay, so in my newest video, I had a section. It's like 15 minutes. It became a lot bigger than what I expected. I have a clipping software since I can't stream nowadays.
right.
And I lost my train of thought. What was I thinking? Oh yeah. In that I had a introduction to the Overwatch portion of the video, and in that introduction I mentioned that Overwatch 2 has several issues. I mean, obviously you guys have probably gone over it in past episodes already, but there's so many problems, and support heroes are heavily like they're in dire need of some reworks, if not just general like patches.
Reworks
'Cause I think
how?
in
Reworks
general-
how? You mean in power increases? Because a couple of them are very strong.
It can't be a power increase generally. There's some that are extremely good already at this point. I think Overwatch, one thing, even like no matter how much I want to shit on them for the bad business practices with Overwatch 2, there is definitely a very very good balancing for the majority of them.
Right.
Like my main point the main example that I use is the amount of health that all of the heroes have makes sense in my opinion, and it works well with their characters.
Right.
Like Reaper, I think has like 250. He's one of my favorite characters that I play. And he makes sense to have that much health. He doesn't need more. He doesn't need less. He fits just right with that.
Right.
And I think most of the heroes have that same like decent amount of health. So it wouldn't be something like that. But I think there's some healers, like for example Moira players. This is kind of a stigma. What's a stereotypy of them. But I find that a lot of Moira players forget that they can heal, and they'll run around and do damage the entire time. And so, while I agree with your sentiment that sometimes they kind of like get ignored, or they get shit on a lot by the enemy team, or by your team, I meant to say, sorry.
Right.
I feel like sometimes that isn't as much of an issue. And when someone's calling for help, like for example with Reaper, he's got that lifesteal ability, but even then he's only got 250. And
So,
since he's known for taking out,
I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt you. You're confusing me because your position is you're confusing me. So you're a Reaper main, is what it sounds like. Are you saying you think it's more often than not that it is actually the support's problem or fault? Is that what you're saying? I'm confused because I'm trying to understand your position here because
I am in support of supports getting themselves a rework, I think, or not a rework, a like less toxicity towards them. And the reason why no one plays them is because a lot of times support characters aren't very fun. I mean, why do you think that most of the time you play a matchup Overwatch, for me specifically, I see a lot of Moiras and I see a
Right.
lot of Lucios.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucios usually are aiming for speed boosts, so they're not really doing the healing because their healing isn't that great.
Right.
So they use their speed boost and try to bump people off the edge for enviro kills. And the Moira players forget that they can heal a lot of times and just mainly focus on damage.
Right. Well, she has to.
I don't see it.
Just to clarify, she has to damage to heal. It's
I
required.
get that because I play her, but when I'm, you know what I'm saying, bro.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. So I think my thing is that the gameplay loop for healers isn't that entertaining. Like Mercy, she gets in on the action.
That's a personal opinion. That's personal opinion. The reason I main healers is because I love that rush of like, oh crap, my team is dying. I need to get up in there. I need to help in some way. I love, like in MMO specifically, that was one of the best things I loved about being a healer was like that feeling of getting that last save, like when your tank's about to die and they have 2% health left and you're like, emergency heal, and you save them. That feeling is like no other.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And it's really potent. And I'm not saying that's non-existent in Overwatch, but when I play healer, I played before I found Reaper, and to clarify, I main tanks. In Overwatch 1 I played Reinhardt, and I played a lot of Roadhog. On occasion, I'd play Zarya. So yeah, I played Zarya before she became busted. I don't play her now that she is busted.
Okay.
I find her extremely boring now that she is extremely good.
All right, back on topic.
Yeah, back on topic. Sorry. When I found before I found Reaper, and for a long time before I found my two tank mains, I would play a lot of times. I'd play Mercy, and I would play other healers of that class, and my problem is I got fairly good with a few of them. I primarily played Zenyatta, I played Mercy, and I played a lot of Bridget. And two of them, depending on how well you are or how good you are at managing your stuff, can be a very strong healer. Sometimes they aren't as good, but
okay, you're going off on tangents, my guy. We need to stay on topic here. Just give me your straight opinion. You're kind of
yeah.
You're unfocused. You're unfocused.
I'm working on my thoughts.
How about we move on? Colin, Mercy.
Hold on. I was waiting to bring in a possible point here. What is the whole reasoning for this article, Cyber? Why did you bring it up?
Well, essentially, Overwatch 2 is in dire need of support. Is the essential meaning of the article.
The problem, I have never played Overwatch 2, but I have watched you. I've seen other people play it, and when you have a support class, there's always supposed to be another class to coincide with a support class.
Right. Yeah. Well, tank.
So
it's usually tank.
Well, not in this case. No, there should be a DPS character or a
you're saying protecting them.
A tank to protect the healer. So there needs to be more of a forced role amongst the 5 of you playing, where the other DPS isn't rushing in behind the tank. There has to be somebody sticking back with the healer to say, "Hey, we'll remain alive if I protect this guy." And then this guy can keep the tank alive.
That is an understated. It's an unstated rule, yes, but no one follows it. 99% of the Overwatch 2 population does not care. They expect you to survive yourself. They expect you to defend yourself. Like,
and that's why no one plays healer, because it.
Yeah,
go ahead, Colin. Colin.
Yeah, you go, man.
The problem with healer, and I know this from most of my friends who play Overwatch, is it is the back burner class. They only play it if no one plays any other character, because they are very much needed, but no one wants to play it. Most people don't want to play it because most people get a rush from doing massive amounts of damage and team wiping.
Right.
That is what most people get. That
trying to team wipe. It's like being forced to play the catcher on a baseball game. Nobody wants that shit.
But it's very important.
You want to be on the field making the big catch. It is. It absolutely is.
They're the backbone. They're the backbone of that entire game.
I think, with Overwatch being free to play, I think they need to enforce said rules like you would see in Valorant.
Well, they do. There's two queues. There's a queue for role specific, and that's where the problem is, though. That's what the article is stating. There's 2 queues. There's one that's like basically free for all, where you could basically have 5 tanks if you really wanted to. The other one is role specific, where you have two healers.
healers,
You
two
choose what
DPS,
role
and
you
one
want, right? And depending on what role you choose,
Well,
it depends on how long the queue is. So if you choose like I want to be a DPS, your queue is going to be like 10, 12 minutes long. If you choose tank, it's going to be like 6 minutes long. If you choose healer, it's going to be 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's less than a minute.
perhaps it needs to be like the Dragon Ball game you were playing, where the role to be the bad guy is well, it's a role. It's a draw. So maybe going into a match, it's a draw.
Do you know how many rage quitters?
You're playing.
Do you know how many rage quitters there would be if that happened?
Well,
here's the thing, Overwatch stops people from doing that anyway. Like if you're AFK too many times or you leave matches too many times, you get penalized for that. So it wouldn't be hard for them to implement.
I think that's why the game is now free.
Yeah, right.
There's obviously issues with it, and I don't know how they're going to correct this. It seems like a forever problem.
Yeah, it is going to be. Yeah, Mercy, Bobby, do either of you have any ideas or suggestions or just thoughts in general on support roles in video games or this game specifically? Anything at all?
Well, I personally, I haven't played Overwatch 2 yet. I played the tutorial and that's it. But personally, when I play games like this, I get upset because I feel like because everybody thinks that I don't know what I'm doing, that is the role I have to play. So I get forced to play healer like in any game because they're like, well, you don't know what you're doing. You can just be the healer.
Oh, really? Okay, wow.
Yeah.
which is quite sad. You know,
Yeah.
I remember in my World of Warcraft days that when you chose to build a healer character, you did everything you could to be the best possible healer. You know, you grinded that shit hard, and you know it was reputable.
One of the biggest issues with that game specifically that I remember, because I was also a main healer, they would always high end raids. They would be like, "Oh, your healing's not good enough. We're looking for somebody that does this much healing per second. You're like half of that." Like, it's like don't.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter what your key configures are.
No.
Doesn't matter how structured your hotbar is. Yeah, no, it's Warcraft is toxic on its own. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, me neither.
It's another dying breed.
Oh my god, yeah, for real.
So
Yeah.
I guess for if anybody has any other opinions, feel free to comment on where you're listening to this podcast. So Cyber, what do you got next for us? Let's go on to a happier subject.
I'm sorry. Mercy,
Yeah.
did you have anything to
I
say
think
before we continue? You didn't say much of anything. I was just curious.
So what was the thing again? Support's being undervalued or
Yeah,
whatever?
support's being extremely undervalued and basically
underplayed.
Yeah, which is hilarious because the game literally requires them to play.
No.
Yeah, it's very common though in like every game that has supports. No one wants to play support.
It is.
People play it because they have to, because you don't have any supports.
I mean, yeah, I would say that's majority true. Like I said, I love playing support, but I one of the things I've experienced in Overwatch is just the hate, just the hate. Like, everyone blames you for everything.
Unless they take the character out itself as a player to use and just make it AI,
right?
So that you have 6 players and the 6th person is always a healer,
right?
And just AI based. Then you can't blame shit.
Yeah, true.
On anybody.
You know what would solve? You know what would solve this? Actually, I just realized what would solve this. You know what Elder Scrolls Online does? They literally make it so every class can heal themselves. They all have one healing move that is a self-healing move, and then that would solve the entire problem. Like, give everyone a minor healing, self-healing on each of the Overwatch characters. Boom, you solve the problem.
Yeah, like
that's why some people play Reaper.
Yeah, and Soldier 76 because he has an area of effect here.
Exactly. Yeah, because you never see soldiers complain about not getting healing because they literally can heal themselves.
Right. Same thing with Roadhog.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's part of the reason why I main Roadhog is that he has an increased survivability, and I think that's something a lot of healers lack is that they can heal others, but sometimes they can't, handle themselves.
Yeah, Mercy can't heal herself
because the thing is they need extra backups in order to stay alive.
I do that for every class except tank.
Right.
Yeah, I think
I wouldn't allow tank
there needs
to heal
also
himself.
be an extra incentive for people to play healer because a lot of times there are those people who are very close-minded.
Incentive how? Like extra match points, extra level up.
I would imagine my thing would probably be extra like XP, extra match points, extra experience kind of thing. And I believe they also mentioned that. I'm not exactly sure I read this, but I remember reading an article probably like about half a week ago about Overwatch in the next few seasons, they're going to start including more incentive for people to play healer, meaning more experience and more rewards to playing them. Just because they're so needed and there's not enough of them.
Man, if they gave me a golden skin for playing Mercy like 1,000 times, I'd be totally down for that.
That'd be fun, dude.
Just give me, literally just make my Mercy solid freaking gold, man. I'll play Mercy all the time, anytime you want.
Yeah, I've luckily got a friend who plays support characters almost exclusively, which means I almost never have to deal with that. But I also play a few supports here and there, so I definitely notice like the glaring issues from the community itself, and then on top of that, I feel like some of the support characters are extremely lacking when it comes to staying alive a lot.
Right.
Or,
all right.
Having the proper support. Right. Let's move on.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's move on.
That
Sorry,
that was my lasting touches, I guess, on that topic.
Yeah,
okay, so
don't bring up Overwatch. So
not around Cryptic.
Right.
Asterisk. Not around Cryptic.
Right.
All right. So our next topic is going to be Carnage. You had mentioned before that we started the podcast you wanted to speak about Grounded, because Grounded came out, the game from Obsidian, which is basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in video game form. And it is 1.0 has been released since the beginning, end of October, I believe. It's been out for a while now. And we've been playing it, or you, my wife, and my younger brother have been playing it. So thoughts on 1.0, the changes they've made, the stuff that they added. What are your thoughts? Let's start with you.
1.0. Well, I'd rather, if I had a choice, I'd go back to early access.
Really?
Yeah. There's a lot of bugs in the full release.
You think they rushed it? Do you feel as though they rushed 1.0?
Yeah, or they were too late to release 1.0.
Mm-hmm.
A patch ago, the last patch of early access probably could have been 1.0.
Right.
As far as the game goes, I absolutely love it. Love the concept, love the grinds.
I do too.
I thought one of the issues we had was the public sharing on Worlds, and the last time we played as a group with you, Cyber, we lost probably 4 hours of game time.
Yeah, and if anyone listening, sorry to interrupt you. I was gonna say, anyone listening to the podcast after the fact, public sharing worlds essentially means that it's a shared world that is a save that is saved to their cloud, to their servers, Obsidian being they. And basically what that means is that normally you would create a world that's local to your computer and you would host it on your console, your PC, wherever you're playing it. In this way, it uploads a copy of that save to the cloud. And then if one of your friends wants to join that world, you give them access to, and they can play it while you're not home if you had to go to work or something. So what Carnage is saying is that basically our shared world, for whatever reason, decided to say screw you. And when we loaded it back up, we lost like 4 hours of progress, which was a lot. Like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it was. It was a lot.
It's a lot in that game. It's a lot. It's a lot of grinding, a lot of resource collecting. And there was a boss that we fought that I'm not worried about beating him again, but it's the point of that we went through a lot of effort just to get to him.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we had to build an entire. Yeah.
The boss himself is easy peasy, but the mosquitoes and the ants and the roly polies, the stuff you have to go through to get to him, is obnoxiously difficult and frustrating.
It's funny. I think the early access version of Grounded, I would have given it like a straight, probably a 9 out of 10, strong 9 out of 10, even with all of the minor issues we had with it. But the final release with all of the bug, and we keep saying bugs, but it's a game literally about bugs. But
it needs more bugs.
Megan chimes in for the first time,
and it does.
It needs frogs too.
Oh my god. Just for clarification, I feel as though the game, in my personal opinion, has more than enough quote unquote bugs rather than, game issues. Like, I think the bug variety is more than enough for what's in there.
So now that you remind me what my whole point was of the story was oh god, I forgot again.
Oh no. Has anyone else here played Grounded or have any thoughts on Grounded? Anybody?
No, I was going to mention this time. I swear I'll be quick about this comment, but
please,
as someone who hasn't played Grounded personally, I watched the hype for it grow, and then I watched it peak, and then I watched it kind of die. So I didn't even know like it released. This is like news to me.
Oh, right.
So
that's because it was in early access for way too long.
which is what I was just going to say, because I knew it was in early access and by a lot, but I think they
it's
just
also
took
restricted to Microsoft, which is a big negative for these guys.
Well, that's because they own Obsidian now, don't they? Technically, so that's
They do. So my points before, now that I remember, is that even with this losing 4 hours, I thought, oh my god, okay, I'm never going to come back to this game. I like they I've lost the thrill, but
right.
Your wife sucked me in the other day to play a world where it actually
words.
From the very beginning, after putting in a good work week in,
right.
I was like, you know what, I'm enjoying myself for some reason. Yes, I'll do this grind again and be scared of the goddamn spiders again.
Not only that, but you found a fast travel too.
yeah. So the bugs themselves are terrible.
The game issues.
The game issues, yes. The game issues that they're not addressing. They're not patching. They're not, yeah.
Right.
I feel like the spiders have gotten too annoying when you go to revive someone who has been knocked down by a spider, even if it's like they stalk you, and then when you revive that person that's been knocked down by a spider, no matter how far away that spider is, it aggroes immediately back onto that player that you just revived.
Oh, you're saying the new right?
Yeah, it's a new mechanic. The spider aggroes. It basically makes it so you have to kill said spider. You have to kill it.
Yeah.
Or you must die for it to go away.
That's such a lame idea.
It is, and the spawn rate at the beginning with both the wolf spiders and the orb weavers are ridiculous.
Right.
I think they will. I think that adds to losing the fan base. Is the difficulty that it's at for normal right off the hop. It's too much.
Well, I was
when
just
trying to fight hunger. And
I'm glad you brought that up, because Obsidian actually made a public statement a few months ago stating that like the game was intended to be difficult. That was the entire purpose of the game. They wanted it to be difficult. They didn't want it to be a walk through the park. They didn't want you to like rush through the entire game within 6 to 8 hours. They wanted it to take. I don't know if that's artificial. If they were trying to make it artificially difficult, so that way you took longer to get to the ending. I'm not sure what the purpose of that was.
It's not. I mean, once you understand the mechanics of the spiders, it is a very quick game to get through.
Right.
Yeah.
Except for the game issues. The game issues is what stops you. Plain and simple.
Let's not forget as well, like Carnage, like he said, I roped him into a game last night. He went into the gas area and found a wolf spider sleeping in there. It wasn't dead or anything.
Yeah, just a normal wolf spider roaming around in the haze.
Weird.
It's supposedly supposed to kill everything.
He's literally just immune to it.
Yeah, it has its issues, but I really do enjoy the game.
Right.
I really hope they fix some
I
mistakes.
love it.
Its foundation is good. It's got good foundation. So, Mercy, you were going to say something a little while ago, but we interrupted you. I apologize. What did you want to say about Grounded?
Seems a bit too buggy for me. You're not gonna lie.
Was that a pun?
Yes, it was.
It's a pun rooted in fact.
It is in fact. That's true. Was that all you had to say, Mercy?
Yeah, I haven't played it. Don't think I will.
No worries. Bobby, do you have any thoughts?
Never even heard of it, so no.
You should add it to your Steam wish list. I think you'd like it. It's really good.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. I definitely. There's another one coming out here actually. Since we're talking about Grounded, there's another, like, I'm small in a big world kind of game coming out. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's literally just called Small World or something along those lines. It's being made by a super small indie team. As of right now, it looks okay. I'm really interested in that. I put that on my Steam wish list a while ago. Why don't we take a small break here so we can get a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be back after a small break. Everyone sound good?
Yep.
All right.
Good.
See y'all after this sponsor. Bye.
Have you ever found yourself in this unfortunate situation?
Get your point, you turd.
But you find that you don't have an epic comeback?
Do you even know how to say?
Well, fret no longer, because do we have the product for you? Introducing 90's comebacks from a bygone era.
Oh my god, like, take a chill pill.
With these sick burns, your opponents won't even be able to aloe vera those wounds.
You're not as hot as your mom.
You're fat, because I hate you. Actually, everyone hates you.
So if you find yourself in one of those situations again...
You suck at this. Get a job.
I remember when I was a baby. Just know you're safely armed with your own arsenal of wittiness.
Buy your coffee today, nerd.
Why am I recording with this kid? Get him out of here.
Shut up, oh man.
And we're back. So the next topic is games we are currently playing, or I guess plan to play. And if we are playing any games, if we played enough of it to give kind of a review of it, or a little mini review of what we're enjoying so far about it. Go ahead, Carnage, you were gonna say?
Well, apparently I can't talk over you.
I'm so sorry.
I was just gonna say I keep hearing from Colin and Cryptic here talk about Cyberpunk. So why don't we go ahead with that and give our guests some spotlight here?
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, I thought Colin was going to go. My bad. I thought Colin was going to go first. Okay, so
I was just making jokes.
My first hearing of Cyberpunk was just back in 2020. Back when it first came out, I saw a bunch of clips. I went, man, this game looks like ass. Missed out on it. And then I heard about the Cyberpunk anime, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, watched that, immediately fell in love with the world. And I'm not going to lie, after I finished up episode 10, the last one, I went and bought Cyberpunk. I was not immune to the propaganda. And I've definitely fallen in love with that world. I've spent probably close to, I think I'm around 80 hours maybe, and less than about a month and a half of me owning it. And for me, that's quite a bit. It's been a great experience thus far, and I'm very excited for the new patches that are coming up in the future, because they've got a plan for how they're going to update it. So I'm very hopeful that they'll finally reach the original idea of what they were going to make all of those years ago, back in 2011, I believe, is when they first announced it.
I don't remember the exact date, but yeah, I do believe it was around then. Yeah. So are you enjoying its current iteration then, and with all the updates and everything?
Yeah, I'm super, super happy with it. I think there's still some lacking parts. For example, I sometimes will accidentally run over a sidewalk of pedestrians, casually. And I'll have the cops call on me, and what happens is that they'll kind of just spawn in. They don't kind of just come out of nowhere, they don't come around like a corner of a building because they're nearby or something. They just kind of spawn in behind you, which I know that was a big issue, and it still is an issue now. It's a lot less obvious, but it still is a problem. And then you want to hear the ultimate counter to the cops system?
Sure, let's hear it.
Get in the car, drive in one direction. That's they can't chase you. They don't chase you, in fact,
wow.
Which I think is very dumb.
I would say it's like Walmart or dollar store branded Grand Theft Auto, huh?
Yeah, no, like Grand Theft Auto 5 did a better job with the cop system than Cyberpunk has, and Cyberpunk is supposed to be a city that's very live, and I still find myself thinking that it's very live a lot of the time. But one of my main issues with it is, the cops, which are supposed to be a looming threat.
Right.
So simply cannot run them.
So as of right now, from what you've played so far, if you were to give it a score out of 10, what would you give it?
I'd give it probably like a 6.57.
Okay, so like just a little below average. So it's like, so let's say we're gonna assume 7's like an average. Like it's a game I'd play, but it's not something I'd like greatly enjoy.
Yeah, so, and then but I'm very hopeful though, because we're currently on 1.61. On patch 1.6, on patch 1.7,
right.
They're going to revamp the NCPD system.
Okay.
And they'll actually be able to chase you down, which is extremely exciting for me, because that's like my main gripe of the game at this point.
Not gonna lie, that should have been probably one of the first updates, but I mean, because that seems like one of the most important systems in the game is, because the whole point of the game, from what I know, is I haven't played it, but that your entire persona is like a guy who could do anything, or a girl who can do anything. So like, but most of the things you do are like bad. Like you go out and steal money. Like it's basically Grand Theft Auto with only bank heists, right? So
yeah,
is that the entire purpose? So my thoughts are, why didn't they focus on fixing the cop system when that is literally a core part of your entire backstory of being a bad guy who goes out and steals things and gets chased by the cops.
There's a few personas you take
synopsis, on. Yeah, the synopsis of Cyberpunk is that no matter what lifestyle you choose, there's 3 different ones. There's Nomad, there's Street Kid, and there's a Corpo. Those are the main 3.
Okay.
And no matter what you do, the mission you end off. This is basically an intro mission, and what happens is that at the end of it, you get this chip slotted in your head because every person has like USB ports in their neck. You get this chip slotted in your head that has Johnny Silverhand, which is Keanu Reeves' personality on it, and what happens is that it fuses with you, and it's basically a virus that is slowly taking over your brain. So Keanu Reeves' personality, and it's called an engram, is slowly feeding into your character's brain and will eventually kill off your character. So that's the entire story, and what happens is that you go around doing missions for people called fixers, which is when you typically steal stuff or rob people. And it's not just that, because a lot of times you're cyberpunk. So sometimes you will, like for one of my favorite missions, I ended up going and meeting a running president for Night City,
right.
Jefferson Perales. And we help him out because he found someone was in his house super late at night, shoots at him. I end up finding in his room a control room in which people who were working for a corporation were going in and then implanting false memories and personalities into him and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing bad things for good reasons a lot of the time.
I disagree with that sentiment, but Colin, go ahead.
I was gonna say you bringing up that you think making the cops better should have been one of the first updates. I have to disagree with you there.
You do.
I think one of the first updates, and I'm pretty sure it was fixing the issue where cars would crash through the ground.
Yeah.
And cutscenes would.
That's not important. We could have ignored that. That's fine.
Yeah, you gotta keep in mind, J-Man, that when Cyberpunk came out, it was such an awful mess. It was barely playable. It barely functioned.
I do remember seeing some of the clips.
The cop system was kind of pushed to the side because they just needed the game to function.
Right. Okay, so let's move on to somebody else. I apologize for cutting you a little short if it seemed like I was.
No, you're all good.
Let's go top to bottom. Yeah, let's go top to bottom. Bobby, do you have any games that you're currently playing or have played within the last few weeks that you'd like to talk about? Maybe something that, doesn't get a lot of, like an indie game or something, or even a AAA game that maybe, that you'd have any thoughts on that you'd like to share or anything of the sort?
Well, the only things I main right now are GTA 5 and Rocket League.
Okay. Is that GTA 5 single player or multiplayer role play?
No, online with my friends, just regular online.
Okay, gotcha. And your thoughts on the online stability and or gameplay of GTA as of right now? Because that game's been out for quite a long time now, right?
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, you must be waiting for 6 to come out.
Yeah, for sure, just waiting forever. But I still think that GTA is so broken.
Really? Can you give us examples?
Like, I don't know, the mission's not working sometimes, or like 90% of the time.
Really?
You go to deliver something and it doesn't get delivered, and then you have to start over, and
what?
Just like random stuff.
Oh my god, that would make me so mad. That's like what we were talking about earlier with Grounded, how like it literally took 4 hours of my progress away in that shared world. I was so mad. I literally rage quit. I was like, nope,
yeah.
I'm done. I'm not playing this anymore. I'm done.
Yeah, and then like my specific friends, like I feel like they just have a lot of attitude when it comes to the game, so we have to like stop and take a break and play something else a lot because they've just gotten so salty, and so it just
rightfully so
buggy.
From what you're.
Yeah.
I was gonna say rightfully so if what you're saying is true. If 90% of the time you're not able to turn in your rewards, I'd be salty too.
Yeah, it's probably not 90%. I'm probably over exaggerating, but it does happen more often than it should. And what was I gonna say? The game crashes a ridiculous amount for me. Like I'll be in it and like doing something, and all of a sudden I'm just desktop all the time.
You have a good computer though too, right? Don't you?
Yeah, brand new.
Oh my!
Yeah,
wow.
GTA 5. They've always been terrible for crashing.
Since release. My least favorite thing is having to tab out to do anything else. I don't know why. That's the biggest pain in the ass for me.
They don't do like a full screen borderless or whatever.
No, it's just either windowed or full, and it's ridiculous.
I mean, in that aspect, I understand because it is 15 years old now. Like that game's, oh my god, that game came out forever ago.
It is, and unfortunately, you're forced to put up with it because you're a fan of the franchise,
right?
Yeah.
So it's a love-hate relationship.
For sure.
Have you spent any money on the microtransaction ridiculousness in that game? Because I've been looking at it, keeping track of it.
The shark cards?
Yeah.
Back in my Xbox days, definitely, all the time. And wasted too much money in this game. Now that I'm on computer, I definitely don't.
Okay, I was going to say, because that seems so predatory to me. Sorry to anyone listening who's going to yell at me in the comments section of wherever you're listening to this podcast. I know there's rabid Grand Theft Auto fans out there that are going to be like, what do you mean? I think the gambling in that game is outrageous. It's just outrageous. You should not be able to pay real money for in-game gambling. That is ridiculous to me. Like loot boxes I've always had an issue with, but GTA literally has a gambling location in the online world that you could pay real money into to get shark cards and then convert it into in-game money to then use at slot machines within the game to get more in-game money. Yeah. That is ridiculous to me. That is the craziest idea that I've ever heard. So
definitely agree with you.
Okay. Are you finished, Bobby? I'm sorry if I cut you short.
Yeah, no, I'm so done.
Okay, I'm so done. She's like, I'm uninstalling the game right now.
J-Man next time? Is it J-Man then?
Me? My turn?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, Carnage, did you have anything?
No. I
was grounded your
too long about it.
Gotcha.
No. I just what I have to say has been said. So
understood. All right, so I'm
J-Man. I know you may have a game about you were going to ask about, but I also kind of really quickly wanted to ask about your opinion on Modern Warfare 2, the second edition. I don't know.
Modern Warfare II, actually. We said that we talked about this last time.
Are you talking about the Modern Warfare or Warzone?
Yeah, because
both actually.
We talked about Modern Warfare II last podcast or the podcast before that. But I would
to follow up on that, because we did talk about the trying to prevent the toxic chat, and that they had a possible method of doing so. Now, with Warzone 2 coming out, they're 100% contradicting themselves with this proximity chat, which they knew from day one it would be toxic. And streamers are promoting it. Yes. Every day, streamers are being toxic deliberately for the content, and it to me, it's sickening.
Yeah,
it is sickening.
I've gotten called the N-word way more times than I would like to admit in Warzone 2.0.
That's bad.
I did enjoy. I actually streamed it. I did enjoy playing Disney songs, blaring into the proximity chat while singing it and playing the game. I didn't do very good while doing so. But I did enjoy doing it, and there were a few. I had a few teams who were like, "What is that? Is that Elsa? Is that Frozen?" And they'd be like, "Shut the hell up!" They would scream and curse, and they'd call me the N-word, and I was just sitting there singing, "Let it go."
That's awesome.
It's so good. It was so good.
I was just curious because I know you've been, at least I believe you've been a pretty big fan. So I've never really played COD games myself, and I saw Warzone 2 came out, so I played it. I am not very good, but I like it. It's been pretty fun.
Okay, so quick opinion, because I actually wanted to talk about a different game entirely, but the quick 30-second synopsis.
Yeah.
I like it. It's less arcadey than Warzone 1. It's got a whole hell of a lot of bugs to it. It needs to be refined way more. There's some issues with loadouts that I don't really like the changes to. I really wish they'd let you buy loadouts. Even if they increase the prices of them, I'd be okay with that. But as of right now, the loadouts are defined locations that drop at certain times within the match, and if you get to it first, it's yours. I don't enjoy that aspect. Other than that, I like it a lot. I like the way it feels. The gunplay feels good. The sound feels really good. The proximity chat is hilarious 50% of the time and extremely toxic the other 50% of the time. Other than that, I give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. Like if they fix all the bugs with it and they increase and they put some kind of system in place to prevent people from just yelling the N-word into your ear the entire time, that would be great. If I could just be like, all right, this guy's been talking literally for 12 seconds the entire time screaming the N-word. Can I just press the mute button, please? Like, let me listen to him for the first 15 seconds, but then let me mute him after that because, like, this dude's getting ridiculous. Like, other than that, average, above average. I like it. I can't wait to see where it goes. I'm enjoying it very much. All right,
thank you.
No worries. Second thing, I want to talk about Mortuary Assistant because I played it earlier tonight, and oh my god, is that game something else? So, I played it twice, and by that I mean there's 5 endings. I got the same ending twice. Well, technically, I got quote unquote the same ending. It's actually the bad ending twice, but I actually got 2 separate cutscenes for both times. That game's not scary in the slightest, and I don't know why anyone's raving about it.
Little girl.
Let's take a look at the Eclipse channel.
I remember doing a machine for a few minutes.
Anyone that wants to fact check that, you can see it on.
No one snopes that. No one snopes that. No one look it up. No one sees. Nope. I don't know what you're all talking about. I did not scream like a little girl once.
Editor, insert a few clips.
How many times you screamed like a little girl?
I think it was like 12. I think I screamed 12 times. But no. Okay, so that game is extremely frightening. It was really well done. The jump scares are extremely good, and I like the fact that it's RNG. Like, and by that I mean it's randomized. Like, it's not the same every time you play it. Every time you play it, the jump scares and the ghosts that haunt you pop out from different locations, which I think is a really cool aspect. I love that. I love how it's not like, because there's multiple endings. You can play at different times. If you like lose or get a bad ending, you could try again. But then if you try again, those ghosts are going to show up differently, and they give you different bodies to work on in the actual mortuary, and the storyline like changes slightly with each time you try it. That's so cool. I love that aspect of like replayability of the game, and I think that's one of its winning points. That's not the word I was looking for, but that's one of its good points for like the price that it's selling for right now. It's totally worth its price because of its replayability. The jump scares are top notch. I give the game a solid 9 out of 10. Like, that game is perfect. I had no gameplay issues. There were no visual glitches. There were no audio glitches. Everything was perfection in that regard. I do have an issue with the way it looks. I guess that was a specific choice. I don't know if the art style was intentional, but I want to take a point off just for that because I find it very displeasing to look at. But other than that, the game itself is wonderful. It's a wonderful game. So, yeah, for anyone out there listening, if you like horror games, Mortuary Assistant is top notch. So.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm not one for any jump scare games, but from watching you, one thing I do have to give them credit for is there's no foreshadowing that you're going to be scared. There's constant noises and music and sounds, so you'll never know when exactly someone's gonna scare you, other than the screen changing color here and there. But the fact that they could spook somebody who's just watching somebody else get spooked, like that's a lot. Because
right,
a lot of props, because it's one thing to watch somebody play than it is to actually play the game. The spook levels will always be different, but I jumped, and thankfully I was muted in this Discord because it creeps me out, and just the parts where the only parts that really grossed me out is when you had to break their jaw for some reason. I did not understand that at all.
I cringed very hard when I did it the first time, and then after like the second or third, I was like, all right, I get the gist of this. It's the same. Yeah,
I just didn't understand. I mean, I wish you had to do different things for different bodies to perhaps.
I like that idea.
Give you a different result, but other than that, yeah, I mean. Yeah, I think it was good.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. Do anyone have any other thoughts, or should we move on to the next person?
You scream like a little girl.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Who are you again? I don't know you. Honey, do you have any games that you've been playing recently that you would like to talk about?
Sniper Elite, which is what I'm playing right now.
Which one is that? 7, 8, 9, 10?
5.
Okay.
I'm playing it right now, and I like it. I love sniping.
What's your favorite kill shot?
Let me know say testicles, I'll be very upset.
Cryptic's like, you better say testicles.
I've been mainly doing headshots.
Okay, gotcha. Fair.
I think Sniper did a really good job with those slow-mo, especially the VR.
Oh god, it's so good.
Did a really good job with the slow-mo zoom in followed bullet.
My only issue with it is I feel like it would get extremely repetitive and annoying after like the 30th time. Like it's probably like an 8-hour game, and you're like an hour in, you're like, oh my god, yes, I get it. I blew his head off in slow motion. Stop.
Maybe Call of Duty should have had the slow mo in when you get a good shot.
Oh, I would love that.
That'd be so good.
Oh, the only issue with that is they would have to freeze the entire server though because it's live.
That's like doing an execution, and you're stuck in this.
Yeah, could you imagine how often that would happen to everybody? Yeah, the entire server would have to slow down. You'd be running across the field, and all of a sudden.
Yeah, so imagine you do that in Warzone where your glint shows up.
Yes.
So you're stuck in this cutscene.
Yes.
And everybody on the map can see your glint for a good 20 seconds while you follow this bullet.
Oh man, slow motion death to yourself would be ridiculous.
Guy walks up to you as the bullet.
That'd be cool if they did that for kill cams.
Yes.
If kill cams were slow mo, that'd be really cool.
I would love. Yeah, you get to see how you died.
I would love to see. I would love to see the kill cam. Like I would love to see the kill cam in first person of like if it happened to you, like you would see the bullet like expand and get bigger as it comes towards you, and then like first person just view like into your face. That would be great.
I think it would be better than showing where the person shot the bullet. I really do.
Agreed.
Similar to like what was it, like the last kill of the game back in like number 2, what was it, like Black Ops 2, last kill of the game would like slow down right as the final like bullet would enter the opponent from the point of view of the killer.
Oh, I did do that. Yeah.
Oh,
that's right.
yes.
Similar to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it so much. All right, honey. So any thoughts on Nazi killing other than the cool of shooting effects or?
No, I mean it's really good. I like it. I'm not into like the technical stuff like you guys are. Like, oh my god, the graphics are amazing. I just fucking love the killing.
Yeah, you married a psychopath.
See, I like putting a bullet in my guy's head.
Does anyone want to do a wife swap? I heard that show's still pretty popular. Huh?
It'll be permanent.
Back in my day, I used to be able to go outside and shoot down that vermin.
Dude, I wonder if Megan's...
I'm sorry, the killing in this game is really good. I mean, I used to play, Jordan and I used to play that Tom Clancy...
not Rainbow Six Siege, but Splinter Cell?
Ghost Recon?
No, the other one, the
sneaky game.
The one where you're like in Washington D.C. and shit like that.
The third person like MMO like one with you had the 4 people in a squad. I can't remember.
Flashpoint? No.
Breakpoint.
God, that's Splinter Cell.
Division.
Division.
Splinter Cell.
Oh, how dare you bring that up in this podcast?
Listen. I like Division. I like hanging back and fucking sniping.
I like its gunplay, but that game is so boring. Oh, it's so boring.
Just like in Outriders.
Thinking of that though.
I love sniping.
The only thing about that game that almost got me on board was that they had tactical playing, but nobody stuck to that. Nobody stuck to being vocally,
like
I can't even say.
You're saying
nobody. You're supposed to work together and be vocal as to what targets you're shooting, where you're gonna approach, what alleyway you're gonna run down. No, it's a free for all.
Right.
Go fuck you page. Like
That's true. Jordan does that. Jordan has a bad habit of doing that. So I just follow his fucking lead.
Hey, listen. I am the epitome of hey, look, piece of candy.
Oh my god, my controller's vibrating.
I do the same thing with Cyberpunk. I'll be in the middle of like an important mission. I'll be like, oh wait, but I could go do this, and then I do it.
Like Warzone 1, me and Carnage would be playing, and the gas would be pushing up on our butts, and there'd be a house that we hadn't seen or gone in yet, and I was like, wait, and I'd run in there to loot it real quick as the gas was pushing in, and he's like, let's go, what are you doing? And I'm like, ah!
It's funny you say that, because at the same time, when we go into a firefight, after I've cleared 3 of the 4 guys, and the other guy is about to down my ass, where's Cyber? Oh, he's way the fuck over there in a goddamn Jeep, looting some box in a random ass area of the map, and I die. Oh, sorry, I can't get to you, buddy.
I'm sorry.
No shit.
Listen.
My God,
no shit.
That reminds me of when we were playing the forest, and Jordan and I just like split off, and you're there fighting those guys by yourself.
Yeah, they leave me in the pitch black with a fucking lighter as a light. I have no idea what I'm doing.
We should talk about that next podcast. Our experience with the forest. That's great.
At least I went back.
I thought you had sufficient light, so I was like, he's fine.
Oh yeah, yeah. Torture does nothing but burn your face and char it for the goddamn cannibal. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's good.
Colin, did you have? Oh, sorry. Do you have something to say, honey?
I was gonna say, like, back to like the subject with like Sniper Elite. Oh shit! I just fired off. Sorry, I'm playing. I've seen my brother and my dad play this game growing up, from Sniper to Sniper Elite 2, Sniper Elite 3, all on the PlayStation 2. And I never gave this game a chance until, this morning around like 2 o'clock?
Because it was on Game Pass and it was free.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was free, and I wanted a new game to try, so... And I freaking love it. I love the sneakiness. I love the sniping.
So 10 out of 10. That's what you're saying.
8 out of 10.
Got it. Okay.
Ooh.
That's a good score. That's a good score.
It's a little buggy. I got stuck in a freaking log pile.
Well, I mean, Sniper Elite is literally the Skyrim of first-person shooters, so...
But other than that, I absolutely like it.
That's
I really
good.
do. It's the first... Well, I can't say it's the first war game that I've played, because I have played COD Zombies with you.
Yeah, years ago.
And I had played Warzone with you last year.
Right.
Which I sucked. I just don't like the online games of these types of games. Single player all the way.
Gotcha.
Fair enough.
All right, Colin, you wanted to talk about a game that you've been playing and or have beaten?
Yeah, I have recently beaten the game Entropy Center. It's a very interesting game about a person who wakes up in a room. It's very Portal-esque, and...
So it's first person then? It's Portal-esque in the way that it's first person, like puzzle solving?
Person, kind of story direction, kinda. But you wake up in this room and there's no one around. You're in a weird facility and it's overgrown. And you find a gun, which allows you to
very convenient.
Take an item and reverse it in time. So
that's cool.
You throw a ball, you can lock onto it and make it go back in time to basically your hand.
Oh.
So you very Portal-esque in the way you're solving puzzles to charge up this huge entropy gun, which is made to rewind the Earth from any cataclysmic event.
Is it strong enough by itself to rewind the entire Earth?
Yes, it is a huge moon base.
Oh,
gun.
wow.
It's like the size of a 9-story building.
Oh, I was thinking it was just like a little pistol in your hand.
Well, the one that can rewind objects and you use is basically that size, but it's a huge souped up one to rewind Earth, because that's the point of it.
Okay.
And through the story, you start reading things and realize you are the last person really alive. And you start seeing black shadow ghosts.
Oh.
And through the story, it is revealed that they are yourself, because you have never actually been able to truly stop the event. Because the event, no matter how many times it was rewound, kept happening. So the center basically evacuated everyone to Earth and gave everyone 2 years to be with their families again.
Say goodbye, basically, before
goodbye before the asteroid or whatever.
So they
hit.
They did rewind time successfully, but for only 2 years, and they couldn't do it again after that, is what you're saying?
Well, they left because it kept happening. Like, they'd be rewinding it weekly because of the events. So they were able to.
Man, can you imagine? Oh, I didn't know that was a storyline. That is deep.
That is very deep.
That is.
And
can you imagine being that person? That could be a movie. Can you imagine being that person?
Could be.
My.
So basically, it's revealed that you chose to stay, and you, through a course of events, end up trying to constantly reset. And it's explained that the ghosts you are seeing are you in past timelines doing the same actions over and over again, so you're stuck in a perpetual loop of...
Okay. Does it explain why you wake up not knowing? You wake up on the ground not knowing that you're the one that's turning back time.
In lore, you can find computers, and it basically says the puzzles you do create entropy power by whatever means. And the problem is, if you know how to solve the puzzle, it doesn't work. You don't get any energy out of it. So you can rewind a specific human back a week, and they lose their memories of that week, therefore allowing them to create energy again. So what's basically happening is at the end of the game, to make it rewind Earth, you have to go into the huge gun and rewind one of the discs, and you're in that field of effect, so you just get blasted into the past, not knowing what happened, and it's happening over and over over again.
Jeez.
And the fun thing about the game is its name tells you the story. Entropy, a lack of order or predictability, a gradual decline into disorder. So it's just a game where it has the theoretical infinite playability because you can never win.
So the ending is a cliffhanger essentially, or is it one of those games where the ending leads you back to the beginning again? It's like, oh, the beginning was actually the ending, and then it's just a never-ending circle.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, I guess we shouldn't talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's. I think you should leave it for others to discover. I mean, the information that Colin said alone is enough for me to want to watch at least other people play it. I'm not interested in puzzle games, but the storyline is actually very intriguing to me.
All right, so Colin, the puzzles. What would you rate them out of 10? The puzzles themselves.
If I had to go based on difficulty and ingenuity, I'd probably give them a high 7 and 8.
Really?
They are. Okay. The puzzles are fun at the beginning, and then they kind of taper off into that
tedious
puzzles. And so, you're going to have to use different elements over and over.
Okay.
However, they do split it up. Like every chapter, you're getting a new way to solve things. New mechanic, and they're taking out some of the older ones.
Okay.
So it doesn't become overly tedious.
Gotcha.
And the puzzles actually do require you to really think about how to do it, solve them, because you're not just solving a puzzle, you're solving a puzzle backwards, because you have to be able to find something. So if you want something at point A, you have to make it at point A and then do whatever so you can rewind it back to point A.
Okay, gotcha.
Your goal.
So would you recommend this game to people who enjoyed the Portal games? Would you, like, if someone really enjoyed Portal, would you say, yeah, play this game?
Yes, 100%. And it also has a nice and funny AI.
Oh, no.
It's not like an evil AI, but it's just there like
comedy relief, right?
It like the first thing it says, "You did great. You're in the top 50% of scientists who completed this puzzle in the bottom half of people who solved the puzzle." Something like that. And it's just little things, and it's
clever. It's got clever wits and stuff about it. That's good.
Yeah.
So would you rate the game overall, since you beat it, about the same score then, like a 7 or 8?
Yeah, 8, 9s. I love
really? Okay.
Those. It's a really good game. It looks good.
Okay. So a strong recommend. Got it.
Yes.
Let's move on. We're getting towards an hour here. Mercy. I was gonna say let's end with Mercy here, and we'll move on to the trivia stage, and we'll end the podcast.
Oh, good.
Mercy, did you have any? I know you said you didn't play much over the last few weeks, other than maybe Terraria. But are there any games that you're looking forward to? Maybe anything you've seen online or on Steam that you're like, I want to get that. That looks really interesting to me. Anything at all?
The Spider-Man Miles Morales remaster.
Oh, okay.
Always wanted to play that game, but never had a chance because I don't have a PS5 because I'm not rich.
Right, and I still think they're fairly hard to come by too. So
yeah, they still are over like 2 years after its release, but you know, it is what it is.
I saw that you were playing the Steam release of the remastered Spider-Man game from the PlayStation. Have you been enjoying that? What are your thoughts so far?
It is amazing.
Okay. So
pretty much it.
So just a straight like 9, 10 out of 10 then.
Yeah.
Got it. That's cool.
The graphics are amazing.
They really are. Yes.
They are. Yeah.
The game looks beautiful. I have a 3080 and it runs perfectly on my computer, so it's great. I had no visual glitches, no issues whatsoever. I'm enjoying it as well. So I have to get back into it. I kind of put it down to play other things, but especially Warzone 2. Warzone 2 has been kind of taking over my life.
I have a hard time with single player games lately, just for that reason. You in the back of your head, after a couple of hours, you think, "Oh man, I really want to play with somebody else, so I want to switch." You're thinking about that, and you're losing your interest in the game. And I had that problem with, the God of War that released a few years ago. Didn't actually complete it, and it was very sad. But same way, or games like Stray, like I never gave that much chance. I wrote it off in the beginning. It was so long and tedious, and I just don't have the drive to do single player anymore.
Right. Mine issue is I have an issue with like attention span. So if something doesn't keep my interest at a full like close to 100% the entire way through, I basically just say I'm good. Like, and that's due to a lot of things. It might not necessarily be the game's fault. It most likely is my fault because I have a tendency, like RPG specifically, I always try to do the side stuff first. And what ends up happening every single time is I'll do all the side stuff or as much of the side stuff as I can, and then either like get so aggravated with something being very difficult within that side quest, chain of events, or I basically do too much of those side quests and I don't even want to go back to the storyline anymore, and I just say I'm done. I've done enough of this game, and then just put it down and never touch it again. So that happens a lot with a lot of RPGs / open worlds.
I did that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say the only game that I could fight that I do fight through is Assassin's Creed.
Right.
Even though I absolutely despise Valhalla, it's just, one, I'm a huge fan of the franchise, but two, the side quests elaborate more. The lore actually, is actually entailed with the storyline, and it helps the storyline make a lot more sense when you do the side quests. So
right.
The side quests aren't as they're more rewarding than tedious.
Right.
But games like Skyrim, I was lost within the first hour. Like I just shut down never to be completed.
Right.
So yeah, that's my thoughts.
No, I completely get it. All right. Do you have any trivia questions that you have prepared or would like to?
Well, yeah, I got a few on my screen here to. If we want to run through them.
Yeah, let's
normally
do it.
It's us versus Colin, but let's just do a free-for-all.
Free-for-all? Sounds good.
Just a cool little questionnaire. So how we do it, guys, is I'm going to name off a question, and the first person to say buzz has the opportunity to give their answer. If you're wrong, we move it on to the next person, and whoever has the most points at the end wins. Yep.
Sounds good. Everyone understand the rules? We good?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start off with... fairly easy one. I say easy. So, which video game is generally considered to be the original third-person shooter?
Buzz.
Colin.
Would it be Doom?
No,
Wrong.
That's a first person. That would be nope.
Oh, I had third person.
He said third, correct?
I'm sorry.
I need a little bit to think. A third person. Would it be Buzz?
Yeah.
Splinter Cell.
Nope.
Damn it. Oh!
Splinter Cell's not a third-person shooter.
Yes, it is.
Buzz.
Nope.
Buzz.
It's not a shooter. It is not classed as a shooter.
It's not classed as a
Buzz.
Cryptic said Buzz.
Yep.
Would it have been GoldenEye?
Wrong.
I think I know what it is.
Wrong.
I think I know what it is.
Okay, well, the actual guessing time's over because... what's your... day?
I was gonna say it's Metal Gear Solid, but
No, she doesn't want that.
Nope.
Oh no,
That's
GoldenEye
close
was,
though.
GoldenEye was first person. I'm done. Never mind. Jesus.
It's Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein was the first one.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein. I feel young. I don't know what that is.
Oh my God, Mercy.
Really?
Is Wolfenstein considered third person?
I'm very young, and even I know about that. But like,
okay, so Wolfenstein 3D is created with being the first the original first-person shooter, though games using similar point of view.
You said third.
Hold on, date as far as back as 1973 with a program called Maze Wars developed for students of NASA.
I thought it would be like Mega Man. Isn't that like a shooter game?
Wait, what?
It's a 2D.
You said third person though. That's first. I'm so confused.
Wolfenstein is first person.
Yeah, that can't be right.
Yeah, it's not third person.
I was
Wolfenstein.
going off the answer that was given to me.
Well, whoever wrote that is a fool because I'm pretty sure it would have been Metal Gear Solid to be honest.
Because I played Wolfenstein or like a hack of it, and it's first person.
I'm trying to look up the answer now. Just move on to the next one for right now. I'm pretty sure Metal Gear Solid is actually the correct answer.
I want to say Mega Man or whatever that fucking game is. The little blue dude.
Gage says in the stream chat, I would have said Sniper Elite. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Actually,
Yeah, because if you said first, I would have understood like Wolfenstein or Doom being one of those answers. But you said third, and I'm like, how is?
Well, that's what the question said, and then the answer they've given me is Wolfenstein 3D.
Well, in my opinion, that answer is wrong. The correct answer for the first third-person shooter has to be Fortnite. Okay, as a Gen Z.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Okay, well let's move on to more ironclad answers.
Was that
here.
a joke answer? I just realized because it's called
was.
3D third. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
All right. Okay. Moving on. Okay. This one's probably gonna be a little more difficult. So, which iconic character provided the voice of the titular character during the 1990s Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon?
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat the question?
Which iconic actor provided the voice for Sonic the Hedgehog in 1990s?
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray from Ghostbusters?
I don't know. I don't know.
I have no idea.
The original Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon.
Wasn't it? Wait, what wasn't it? Well, no, because something in the Japanese from the Sega Sonic.
I have no clue who it is.
Tadashi Kusao, I believe, was his name. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Are we saying we're saying the English version? I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah. I don't know why I know the Japanese one, but I don't know the English one.
I give up. I have no idea what this one is.
It's Jaleel White.
Yeah. Okay.
Jaleel.
That was honestly a question I thought Colin would step up and answer.
I'm not big on names. Like
me
most
neither.
I'm not gonna get.
I'm a person. If you would have said who, does the voice actor that did Sonic in 1990 have a mole on his left eye? I would be like, yep.
Fine. Okay.
It's got me thinking of the old Sonic cartoons. Now it's like.
Okay, so for everybody to kind of not feel so uneducated, here's a nice easy one. How many players compete against each other simultaneously in Fortnite Battle Royale?
Buzz. Oh, I think Mercy did it first.
Yep.
Go ahead.
100.
Yes.
Damn. Why? Point for Mercy.
I still feel uneducated.
Same here. I don't know nothing about
Mercy's
Fortnite.
like 12 years old, so he's allowed to get that one.
I love that.
What was the first video game console with a CD-ROM embedded into it?
Buzz.
Buzz.
Me first. Sega CD, baby.
Nope.
What?
Buzz.
Megan was next. Megan.
Oh,
Megan was after me because she did it at the same time, but right after. So Megan next.
Okay.
PlayStation.
No.
What?
No.
What?
Wait, what?
Get out of here.
Get
out of here.
Honey, you're 1 year younger than me. Are you kidding me right now?
I grew up on a farm with no indoor bathroom. How poor do you think I lived?
Did you not even socialize? Like, come on now.
Who's next?
Buzz.
Colin was next.
What was it? It was the Genesis, the Sega Genesis, or something. It was this Genesis, the Jaguar. I think was one of those. No.
Nope.
Buzz?
Bobby?
Go ahead.
The GameCube?
I think that's what? No.
That is after the PlayStation.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's worse. That's worse.
I don't know.
Okay, well,
Bobby!
Okay, Buzz.
Bobby!
Stop.
Buzz.
All right, Cryptic, what's your answer?
Okay, so the very first CD console, I'm not even sure if you could call it that, was the CDI. I remember reading about this like a year back. It was the CDI, and it was shit. It was a failure. It failed, which is why I don't think this is the right answer. But that's the first one, I believe.
Nope. The manufacturer was Panasonic.
The TV maker?
Really?
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Panasonic, Sanyo, Gold Star, and Creative.
I mean, that makes sense.
All right, well, none of us got the answer, so what's the answer? Is it
3DO.
3DO. Okay, that's older than any of us. Yeah, we would have never gotten into that.
I'm gonna search that up. 3D.
I say PlayStation still because nobody knows that.
Before my Xbox and PC, the only thing I ever played was a Nintendo 64, so I know nothing.
Cartridges, baby. Cartridges.
FC10.
All right, next question, Carnage.
Oh, okay.
We only got one person with 1 point, so.
Oh well. Here's another easy one.
Okay.
What is the highest grossing arcade game of all time?
Buzz.
Colin.
But I'm gonna guess Tetris, because.
My God, dude. No.
Buzz. Asteroids.
Got it.
Wrong.
What?
Bobby.
Pac-Man?
You got it.
No.
I was thinking that.
I was gonna say Mortal
I would have said
Kombat.
Miss Pac-Man because there were some really horny dudes back
Honestly,
there.
I was gonna make it into a joke or in Wreck-It Ralph.
Jesus. Get out of
I
here.
don't know these answers, so I'm just gonna come up with some random shit.
All right, so
Here we
Bobby
go. Next.
got 1 point.
Yeah, Bobby got that one. So next question: what is the name of the peripheral device that can be plugged into a Nintendo 64 controller to make it vibrate?
Buzz.
I can repeat that.
Buzz.
Colin first, then Cryptic.
Yep.
The rumble pad.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Technically, it's packed.
Technically,
I was gonna
packed.
say it's packed.
Yeah.
I said correct before he finished that word.
I was gonna say technically it's rumble pack, but I'm still down to count it.
All right, we'll give it to him. We'll give it to him. But I think you should have waited a little second to think for yourself because that pad is incorrect. That's pack, but we'll give it to him. All right, next question. Colin has 1 point.
Okay. How many different shapes of 4 connected blocks are there in Tetris?
Shapes
Buzz.
of 4. Oh, Mercy.
4.
Buzz.
Colin.
I'm gonna say 6.
Wrong.
Buzz.
Cyber.
8.
Wrong.
Are we going in the right direction at least?
Buzz.
I can't
7.
give you that.
Buzz 7.
You got it.
so he gets half a point though because he.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Second.
fine.
14.
Fuck's sakes.
It's 7 because you count the L and the zigzag.
Yeah,
twice.
you count
Yeah,
the
the
L.
Z and the L and the cube and the long piece and.
I count the W.
L to W.
I was counting. I got to 6.
Here's a cool little one.
All right.
What classic video game did Tony Stark catch a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. playing in the first Avengers movie?
Buzz.
Oh, Mercy.
Gallagher.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you
damn.
got it.
Okay. All right, Mercy. All right.
That,
We
but I
see
don't-
you. We see you.
The Nintendo Game Boy utilized which type of display system?
Buzz.
Buzz?
Uh,
LCD.
Maybe
It's
that's
a monocolor
Yeah.
LCD.
Yeah.
Say the last part again.
He said monocolor
Monocolor
LCD.
It's LCD. Yeah, you got it.
All right.
Damn.
Colin,
I was
damn,
gonna say a
dude.
2D screen.
like-
I had that one too. Just being
It's a
this way
2D
little bit.
screen. That's what it is.
Megan's
Okay,
like
I'm-
2D.
VR.
Okay. What are we at? 2, 2, 1. Okay. First to 3 gets the round.
All right.
The PlayStation prototype was designed by Sony in collaboration with which company?
Nintendo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
you
didn't say
got it.
Buzz. He didn't say Buzz.
I
He didn't
did
say
say
Buzz.
I did say Buzz.
He
Oh, he
did.
did.
His mic cut out.
Of course it did. All right, so he wins again. Colin wins. He's at 3.5 points.
It was a game company. That's it.
I mean, that was class is very hard. Get fucked. Jesus Christ.
That's hilarious.
Hello, everybody. Welcome
Oh.
back to Press C for Carnage.
Get
We
fucked.
we get fucked.
We should start ending our podcast episodes on that. All right, have a great day, everybody. Get fucked.
Oh,
it's so toxic.
Yeah, right.
All right, guys, that's going to be another episode of Press C for Carnage. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Press C for Carnage. See you later.
And I do believe it's press C, the letter 4, Carnage on most of those, just so everyone knows.
The letter 4?
The number, did I say the letter 4?
Good job.
It's my favorite letter.
You can delete everything you just said.
Let it go.
The letter
Finish it. Let it go.
Bye, everybody.